Hi, everyone. Welcome to Create with Chris. Today we are talking about varnish, why to varnish, how to varnish, what types of varnish. So stay tuned if you have questions about that. I want to thank you for joining me. Today, Lindsay is with us to handle all of the IT. If you have any questions, be sure to let us know. While we're waiting for everyone to hop on, let us know where you're from. I am just back from sunny Florida to extremely wet and dreary Ohio. And the sunshine and the warm temperatures are a memory that I am currently cherishing very much. So I think April is over and we're looking forward to Mayflowers. So a little bit of sunshine is on the horizon, anxiously awaiting that. So we have anyone joining us today?
There's 6 people in here. They're being a little quiet right now, but that's okay.
That's fine. It's a little bit early, especially on the western side of the country. Had a lot of people asking about varnishing, so we thought we'd touch on that topic. So if you have questions and struggling with something in your happy painting world, let me know, and I'm always open to suggestions on future videos. If you're not currently subscribed, be sure to hit the bell and like and join in. That way you won't miss out on upcoming videos. We have a lot going on here at Cupboard Distributing today.
So let's do some housekeeping right now. We do have a flash sale, $1 a day flash sale going on right now. Now this is while supplies last. We've already had a few items sell out already. But don't sleep on this offer. It's today only. So if you're thinking, oh, well, I'll place an order a little bit later, this is a limited selection. Like, we will not cut to order. So these are just overstocks and really good prices. They retail from $2.95 to $4.95. The flash sale price is $1 to $2. So it's a really good bargain. That deal lasts through tonight at 11:59 p.m. Eastern.
It's like donuts. When they run out, they're gone. But just because you have it in your cart doesn't mean that it's going to stay there.
No. If you have it in your cart and it sells out, it won't let you buy it. So
okay. Yeah. I know that works differently. Lindsay knows all that inside information. So if you don't want to miss out on these great deals, make sure that you hop on it right away and take advantage of that because they are selling out fast.
Yeah. Good morning to Kathy from Tennessee.
Hi, Kathy. Is it raining there? I think it's raining.
I mean, if it's not, we're glad to share. It's been raining, I feel, nonstop. Well, it did rain yesterday. Did it rain yesterday?
It pretty much off and on all day.
Yeah, okay, so it did. Maybe I'm just used to it. But
yesterday it came from the south up. Today it's coming from the north down. So I think weird. It's the same rain.
Yeah, it's weird, but I feel like it rains.
It's headed to Tennessee. I'm just giving you a heads up. It's going to be there.
I think it's rained since Thursday. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, we got home Saturday, and it was a short walk from the parking lot to the airport when we parked our car. But coming back, it seemed like twice as long because we had to walk through the pouring rain, and it was horrible, cold and wet. And I just was wishing I was back in Florida for just a few more days.
All right, so you want to go ahead and get started?
All right, we're ready to get started. So we've had a lot of people asking about varnish. So a little bit about why do you want to varnish? And one of the main reasons in varnishing is to protect your painted piece and to add a nice layer of finish. It also will enhance the colors, makes it easy to dust. But I think the most important reason to varnish, it gives it that finished, more professional appearance. So it just kind of really sets it off and makes it look finished. We carry here at Cupboard Distributing, we carry acrylic varnishes. I know that there are some oil-based varnishes out there. Not a fan. I just don't like dealing with oil and the smells. The acrylic varnishes have come a tremendous way since way back when. Most of them, I think all of them, are non-yellowing. When you get into oils, you have to look and make sure they don't have that resin in it that will yellow over time. The polyurethane in the acrylic varnishes will prevent the yellowing. It's tough, it's flexible, it dries crystal clear. And I think the biggest bonus, and the thing that I appreciate the most, is the fact that now varnishes uh, can be both indoor and outdoor. It used to be a varnish was dedicated to interior. You had to read the label and make sure that you got the correct varnish if you're going to use it inside or outside. These acrylic polyurethane varnishes are really good for inside as well as outside. So that, I think that's a really big bonus. You don't have to deal with reading the label, making sure you're using the correct varnish for whatever purpose you have your project is. There's different types of varnish. There's high gloss, there's satin, there's matte, ultra matte. So no matter what kind of finish you're looking for, whether you want to really sparkle and shine and look like it has, what's the thing you pour over the resin? Is that what gives that really super glossy finish? You can achieve that with varnish, or you can also put the ultra matte on and it just seals it, finishes it, but you have no sheen. So that's the different types of varnish. You can go from one spectrum to the other. So let's go flip the camera around. We'll go to different types of tools to use to apply the varnish. Okay, so depending on the size of your surface, if I'm going for a big surface, I'm going to use a sponge. And I wasn't sure about this sponge, and so I tried it out to make sure that it would work well. I was concerned with the voids in it, that it wouldn't provide a smooth, bubble-free, streak-free application, but it works really, really well. I like this sponge because it's easy to hang on to. The shape of it, you can grab it very easily in your hand and slide it across. Now, when I do work with a sponge, I moisten it. And here's the thought process behind that. If you have a dry sponge and you go over to your varnish or medium or whatever, and you can use this for paint as well, it's going to soak everything up into the sponge. So you're going to lose a lot of product just soaking it up into the sponge. I usually take and stick it in the water, smush it out, and then I take a paper towel and I just kind of crunch it in a paper towel. You don't want it to be drippy wet, so it's damp. My product's going to stay on the outside, not soak up on the inside. If you're not worried about being frugal with your product, that's not a concern. But I also think it helps it to glide on a little bit smoother. This is a 1.5 inch short wash. These bristles are super soft. With super soft bristles, you're going to minimize the brush strokes on the surface. So this is really good for larger surfaces, great big surfaces, larger surfaces. Then you bump down to the smaller surfaces. And even the Taklon brushes, this is my 3/4 inch angle. I'm an angle fan. I love angles because of the point. I can get into areas. I can be really specific about where I lay in the product. So if you're not doing the whole thing and you want to just do certain areas, this is really great. The oval wash has this filbert edge on it. I like this because it does not show stop and start lines. And I don't use a chisel edge. I lay it down flat. So I thought it would be fun to just lay in some different types of varnishes to show how they work. And I've got this board and I've got different sections. I think I'm going to go with the short wash just because it's about the same size as the sections I kind of quickly masked off. My brush, I dampened it, and I'm just going to get a little bit of product, and I'm going to go the same direction. I start in the middle and I work it toward the edges. That's going to eliminate that drip off the side.
And this is the ultra matte.
This is ultra matte. I love the ultra matte. This is my favorite varnish because when it dries, and I'll show you after it dries, it is the same sheen as the paint. So if I want to use it to build up protective layers in between, you know, you do a beautiful background and you're do something over top of it. Sometimes when you make a mistake or you want to go back to fix it, you dig into the background. Applying a coat of Ultramat will provide that protective barrier, and it's so much easier to lift off the paint. Okay, let's just go in. I'm starting from a low sheen to a higher sheen. And just to give you a difference on the different sheens of the varnish. Now, I've not used the matte varnish recently, so I'm going to shake it. I'm not shaking it super hard so that I build bubbles into it, but a lot of times it'll settle. So I'm just giving it a gentle swish, swoosh back and forth to be able to get a nice coverage on that, or mix the paint softly. Doing the same thing, loading my brush, letting that be on there just a little bit heavier. Again, I'm working toward the outer edges. I like to keep my brush strokes in the same direction. No matter what, consistency is key. So if I want to make sure that I don't have a whole bunch of brush strokes going this way, that way, follow the direction. If you're working with wood, follow the direction of the wood grain. I think we'll bump up to, I have a satin here somewhere. Okay. I don't think my satin is any good anymore. Lindsay laughs at me if I don't use something for a while.
She puts it back in the cabinet and I said, throw it away.
Okay. We're going to skip satin. This is satin. I'm just going to skip that and go to the gloss. I don't think we have any more.
You want me to look?
No, that's okay. My favorite are the Ultramat, the matte. I don't create projects that use a gloss, but let me tell you about the gloss. I did an experiment with the gloss. This is gloss here. And just work that to the edges. I have a light touch. I'm not pushing super hard. Just a nice even touch over that to add that on there. And then I'm going to go ahead. This is multi-purpose sealer. I use this a lot. And I know some of you are not a big fan of sealing before you paint. I had a bad experience probably about 30 years ago. I painted a project, did not use a sealer. It was a Christmas project. I put it in the attic. The next year I took it out for Christmas and it looked like someone had dumped sand on it. So it was a moment when I thought, oh, it's not going to make that much difference. So whether you mix sealer or you could even use the Ultramat varnish and mix it with your paint, I like to use the multi-purpose sealer because that's what it's made for.
And I thought it was kind of funny when you said, I like to seal everything, and then you looked at me, because Jen and I don't seal anything.
Well,
we just don't. And you know, I mean, it's just.
If you're putting hours
we
into
should, but we don't.
Yeah. Just a heads up. Now.
Don't do what we do.
Okay, so the issue I had with sealing years ago was the fact that it was a wood surface. This is MDF. I'm not so sure that's a big issue, but I just, I learned my lesson, so
Well, I mean, you never know what's on there. I mean, it comes from us clean, but like if you put it on a shelf and maybe something like your drink gets, like a drop of drink gets spilled on there or something, like a splash of coffee, it might come up through your paint. I mean, if you don't know it's there. So it is a good idea to seal, even if it is just an idea. We just don't do it because of time constraints. That's the only reason we don't do it. So do as we say, not as we do.
Okay, so this is fairly dry, and I am using the heat tool to dry it. But when I dry with the heat tool, I always keep my hand kind of here, because if it's too hot for your hand, it can be too hot for the surface or the product. You don't want to scorch your paint, crack your paint, bubble your paint. I've done all of the above. So I've learned my lesson. I just make sure that I keep the hair dryer or heat tool, whatever, keep it moving. And that's going to ensure that you're not going to scorch the paint. Nice even coat and coverage. So this is one coat. Can you see this here, Lindsay? This little shine.
You're gonna have to hold it up and kind of tilt it. There you go.
Okay, so when I opened the gloss, it flipped a dot over here.
Yeah, you can see it now.
You can see it?
That's the gloss on the Ultra Matte.
Yeah. So if I peel these back, I thought I could do this real easy here. You can see the difference between this is the Ultra Matte and this is the matte, and there's still a sheen difference.
Yeah, you definitely gonna
Okay, let's just peel them back. Nothing here, so whatever. That was my
unvarnished.
that was my unvarnished, yes. And I stuck these down too tightly. This is one coat. Let's take these off.
So it's Ultra Matte, matte, unvarnished,
Okay.
gloss, and sealer. Is that what you did?
Okay. Oh, I think I need a new pen. And this is and multi-purpose sealer. Slow down. If you go too fast, this is a Uniball pen. It's absolutely wonderful. I've had it stored upside, and so it's just now starting to flow down.
Well, it's also a little cold in this room too, so temperature does that.
And I am writing fast. I need to slow down. So Ultra Matte, matte, gloss, and multi-purpose. So you can see the difference. This is just one coat. What I like about the Ultra Matte, you can dry brush over it. The matte, it gets a little bit of a sheen. Can you see all those sheens, Lindsay? Okay, so here's the fun thing. One layer is good. One thin layer will provide nice smooth surface. You can rub your fingers over it. One layer does not need sanded. 2 layers, you're going to get a much smoother, more consistent coverage. So I want to show you what I did. This is, can you see the difference on this? I used one application of gloss on the whole thing, put a piece of tape down, added 3 more layers. So you can see the difference between adding 1 layer and several more layers. You're going to get a much more enhanced professional finish. I kind of was wowed by this. A few light coats are better than one heavy coat. Not a big fan of a gloss finish because I take pictures of what I do. You get that flashback with the camera. So I don't often get to use gloss. So I was really excited. What a beautiful finish this is. I think if I had used the, what is it, high gloss?
High gloss, yeah.
You get that crystal, almost a ceramic finish. And I thought, gosh, you could even take the inexpensive, shapes and make them look like ceramic or have that epoxy finish. It's just a beautiful way to cover that. Now I wanted to show how the gloss will enhance. And this is a sample I did. I don't know. I did a video a while back on pine cones and pine needles. And you can, does this show up this scratchy part? I sanded this, so it has a little bit of a scratch on it. I think I'm going to go with, should we do gloss on that,
Put
Lindsay?
gloss on it.
Let's do gloss.
You never do gloss.
I don't. I want you to see what a difference using gloss over a varnish over something that's painted. And it just enhances the color. See that background that had the scratches on it? Just goes away. So when you apply your varnish, if you see like light and dark or it's not even, don't worry about it. Don't go try to build it up the first coat, because it's going to take several coats, just like everything else. A little bit of paint makes a big difference. A little bit of varnish makes a big difference. Long, smooth strokes. You try to eliminate that stop and start and just smooth it out. One thing about varnish is that it's not as thick and heavy as paint, so you don't need to thin it down. You can mix varnish with paint. I know a lot of people do that for the base coat, is to mix the varnish or the multi-purpose sealer in with the paint. You kind of kill two birds with one stone. You're putting your sealer on there, and you're also base coating, so that kind of knocks one step out of the way.
And you can also put, well, Decorah used to have the product Starlight Varnish, which was the glitter varnish, but you can also put glamour dust right in varnish.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Oh, glamour dust and varnish is beautiful.
We miss the Starlight Varnish.
Yeah.
Chris used that a lot.
Well, it just gives a little bit of a sparkle when you're not really looking for a big hit. Okay, I'm not a fan of this because I don't know if you can see, does it look kind of ucky? It's just not smooth. I see my brush strokes and I'm thinking, yeah, I don't like that. However, that's just the first coat. So I'm going to give this a dry. Now remember, if you're laying on several layers of varnish, paint dries from the top side out. So if you've just painted this and you put your varnish on, the paint feels dry to the touch, but it's still a little bit tender underneath. I've just put varnish over the top. That's adding another layer that needs to dry. This is dry to the touch, but I know if I scraped it or worked over it too hard, it's going to peel up or dent or mark. I should just do part of that. That really makes that paint absolutely glow. Like I said, I always like working from toward the outside edge. Once I get the outside, then I can go back with long, smooth strokes and just absolutely blend that together. It's a seamless application. Each layer is going to provide another layer that's going to even it out. If you have a lot of texture on your piece, I would kind of steer away from gloss, because that will also, it's not going to smooth it out that much. You'll see all of that. But this is a smooth piece, and it's kind of funny. It's still shiny. I'm thinking in my head it's still wet, but it's very dry. Probably after it's varnished, you need to wait at least 24 hours before you know it's dry. And I think I read somewhere that even to make sure it hardens, like completely hardens, that it may take a couple weeks just to really cure that finish. Oh, this is really getting pretty. And now my brush strokes are not so strong and visible. Oh, that's pretty. I don't get to play with the gloss very often, so this is kind of like, wow, this is beautiful. And it's not going to look a whole lot difference between while it's wet or while it's dry. Any comments, Lindsay?
No, not yet. A lot of people have joined us. We have Suzanne and Marianne, Glenda, Lois.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Any questions on applying the paint? If you want to see how the sponge works, I base coated this early and it's still a little bit cold, which means it's not completely dry.
Well, she's drying it. The sponge that she's getting ready to demonstrate, we actually have a deal. We like to give deals on things. So from now through the 13th, this sponge is only $3.50. And you don't have to put a coupon code or anything in. It's going to be that price. So if you add it to your cart, it's called the 3 3/4 inch sponge. It's not only great for varnishing, it's also great for base coating or texturing if you want to.
Yeah.
So be sure to check that out. And again, that's through a week from today. So.
It's really comfortable in your hand too. It's just the right size.
Okay.
This is an overkill for this particular piece, but look how quickly I can smooth that on. And then I'll just flip that around. And again, it shows a little bit of brush strokes, but I have one thin coat on. And I will let that dry and add 2 or 3 more coats on that. If you feel like you want to sand it, I would not sand it until after at least the second coat, maybe the third coat. And that's sanding it would be with a extremely high grit sandpaper, probably more than a 220. I don't know what they are. It almost feels like it feels super smooth. This is a matte finish. It still has, to me, it still has a soft sheen. I think it's absolutely beautiful. Can you see the sheen on that, Lindsay? And I guess this is probably, so we'll see. This is just with, did I do 2? I'm losing track here. I'm going to add one more layer on that. And this again is with the sponge. So if you're looking for a quick and easy way to add your varnish, look how easy that goes on. And I can just blend that together. And that's a fast way to go. If you're doing door hangers or big pieces, this is a great way to add a varnish on there very quickly. With the brush, I have more control. I can get into specific detail as far as the edges. With this, I have to be a little bit careful and just keep a light touch. I think the key thing between applying the varnish and achieving a beautiful finish is to be consistent. Keep those brush strokes going the same direction. Use a soft bristle brush. You don't want a stiff brush. You don't want hard pressure, a light touch. And it's just going to glide across, give you that beautiful finish that will make everything, enhance those colors, give it a professional finish. It's not going to scratch. It's just going to look good for years to come.
Patty asked, are these Deco Art varnishes that we're using?
Yes, they
All
are.
the ones demoed here were Deco Art, but we also do carry Jo Sonja varnishes, which are just as good. And Chris uses both.
I use both of them. I don't have any Jo Sonja open here.
Not at the store, yeah.
So
she's got it at her studio at home, but she doesn't have any at the store. Lois asked, how do you clean the sponge?
Oh, this is good hand therapy. You put it in the water under the faucet and you just squeeze it until it runs clear. It's good on your hands, nice warm water. In fact, my hands were cold this morning, so I used hot water to dampen my sponge. But yeah, just let it run clear. It's very porous, so the water flows through very easily. It's super easy to know when it is completely clean.
And Mary just joined us. Good morning, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
And I think in the link for the varnishes, the Jo Sonja and the Deco Art are in that same category. With the Jo Sonja, I think we have matte, satin, and gloss, if I'm correct, in the Jo Sonja. Deco Art, we have a few more types. There's the gloss, the high gloss, satin, matte, ultra matte, and then even triple thick. So, and triple thick we didn't touch on really, but it is also available. So
I haven't used triple thick for a while. Let me see if I got.
triple thick's really neat. It's very popular. Chris and I were just talking about it this morning. It's very popular with diamond art, to seal diamond art, because of how shiny it is.
My daughter loves triple thick, and you can see it is very thick. And I have to admit, it has a super shine to it.
Hello, Virginia. Welcome.
And you'll probably be able to see what a difference this is. Because it's a thicker bodied varnish, you have to spread it out. It takes just a little bit longer to move it around. And it's going to take just a little bit longer for it to dry. Can I get over?
I don't know if this, Eileen said, I've had some of those sponges with bones in them though and have pricked myself. I'm not sure if this is synthetic or not, this sponge. The sea sponges that might happen with, this is
I'm sure this is synthetic.
yeah, if it's synthetic, it's not, hopefully wouldn't do that. It doesn't say.
When I had cats, I had to hide my sea sponges because
yeah.
the cats would always steal them. So
I'm pretty sure this is synthetic. But yeah, I can see, I mean, from stocking the sea sponges, that happens from time to time when we grab the package. Yeah. Oh, Suzanne says that she uses triple thick to do her faux stained glass.
Oh, that would
Yeah.
be perfect.
Suzanne says that the sheen on the pine cone surface is beautiful. And again, Chris normally uses the ultra matte or the matte. The reason being is because she has to photograph it. So when you have to photograph it, you can't have much light coming off of it. And the flashes and the display light or the photography studio lights will bounce off of it. So that's why she tends to use the ultra matte or the matte. Patty says, I found that the Deco Art matte is still shiny. Would you know if Jo Sonja's matte is more matte?
Go with the ultra matte.
Yeah, if you think the matte's still shiny, try the ultra matte.
It does. This is matte and this is ultra matte. And you can see the difference. Can you see a little bit of a shine on this ultra matte? I think the
that's the matte that you just pointed to. The second one down is
this is the matte.
Yeah, the top one's the ultra
I think
matte.
the sheen on the matte is very comparable to the sheen on the multi-purpose sealer.
So Lois asked, how is soft touch varnish different?
It's almost a satin. I would say it would go between the matte and the satin. It's just a softer sheen, almost comparable to if you would use a wax like to finish, you get that kind of a soft sheen on it.
Susan said, I wonder if these items would work on rock painting for leaving them outside.
Yes, absolutely. You can use them on, the varnishes will adhere to metal, rock, terracotta, ceramic, and they make a good, I know you can use it as a base coat to adhere the paint as well.
And I do have a stone that has like an Ohio State logo painted on it, and it was varnished, and it's been in my garden for probably, I've been in the house 17 years, so 15 years. So, and it's just now starting to fade. So.
And that's not the varnish probably.
No, but it's held up great, and it was varnished with this kind of varnish, so.
I would say the triple thick, one coat of the triple thick, and I can see I didn't get it on very smoothly. That is probably comparable to the 4 coats
Can
of.
you tilt
Okay.
so they can see it? There you go.
So,
yeah, you got it a little thick in one spot, but.
Yeah, okay. So the thickness on the triple thick with 1 coat is probably equal to the 4 layers of the gloss. And I didn't use the ultra gloss. No, high gloss. There is a high gloss.
There is a high gloss, but we don't have an open bottle here.
So you can see all the different kinds of varnish that can work in different aspects of your painting. But I do highly recommend that no matter what you paint, that you do apply a coat of varnish. When you're finished, it just protects it, makes it look a little more finished, and gives it that professional look. Makes it easy to dust too. If anybody still dusts out there.
What's that?
We're painting, we don't have time to dust. So, okay.
Does anyone have any more questions? If you do, please write them in the chat. And if you have any other topics or techniques that you would like Chris to cover, please feel free to just either message us, send us an email at info@citywood.com. You can email Chris.
Drop it in the comments.
Yeah, someone did call. So yeah, you can call and talk to me, and I always jot them down. So.
Don't forget to take advantage of our flash sale today. The $1 and $2 plaques, they're going fast. They are, what do they call it? In stock only items. So the quantities are
limited. We already have had some sell out. So if you were wanting to take advantage of this sooner rather than later, because they are going a lot faster.
What's our sale this week too? We have another sale. We have a weekly sale.
What is our sale?
We have a lot going on here. We always have plenty going on. So while she's looking that up, don't forget to hit the bell, like, and subscribe to my channel. That way you won't miss out on future videos.
Paola Bassin, e-patterns and surfaces are an additional 30% off.
Oh, gorgeous
so that's
patterns.
Always a great time to stock up on her intricate designs.
And we hardly ever have her patterns on sale. So this is a good deal. Don't miss out on that.
Yeah. Ooh, someone in the chat. And also, I'm probably repeating myself. I say this at every live. If you're watching us on Facebook, please remember that Facebook deletes our lives after, I believe it's 30 days. So if you do need to, if you want to save this, hop on over to our YouTube channel. It is free to subscribe. There is no membership fee or anything. Like and subscribe. You can find all of our videos. There's well over 100 of them, different designs, techniques. You can even find semi-pro paintings on there from Jen and me. So yeah, definitely hop on over there. So that way, if you are looking for that video that has disappeared off of good old Facebook, it's going to be on the YouTube channel.
Evidently, Facebook is filling up storage-wise, so they're switching over. But there's a wealth of information on YouTube. Don't forget to go over there.
Yeah, don't sleep on YouTube. YouTube has so much information. And I'm putting the link on our YouTube channel in the chat for you. So.
And Jen and Lindsay will be live tomorrow.
At 1 p.m. Eastern.
So don't miss out on that fun. Last week she did a ladybug door hanger that was absolutely stunning. So a lot of new products she uses. Jen and Lindsay work on a lot of new product, and that's what they feature on their live. So it kind of gives you a sneak peek into what's hot and new and fun.
And tomorrow is a stencil project.
Okay, so you don't want to miss
We
that.
try to alternate back and forth between stenciling and then.
And they always do something a little bit different. It's not just slap a stencil on and go on. But so they do some unique techniques that you don't want to miss out on. And what else? Oh, don't forget, Christmas Unwrapped is our Christmas subscription. I just finished up the next ornaments, and they are adorable. Can we tell them what it is?
Nope, you cannot tell.
Oh, okay.
She can't tell you. She can't tell you. I won't let
Okay,
her.
I'm excited because I just finished them up and they're so cute. So if you don't want to miss out on that, if you join now, you get, it's a 1 year from January, was it January, February?
Well, it's the calendar year, so it starts
Okay.
January to the end of the year. So there's 4 boxes a year. They ship in March, June, September, and November. And the reason we moved it up to November was because we had a lot of people comment that they would like to get it done in time for Christmas. So the last box does ship in November, usually around the 15th of the shipping month. Knock on wood, we always get it out early, but you never know. We always say the 15th, so.
And they're packed with all kind of goodies and extras and fun, and you don't want to miss out on that. Okay, anything else?
Suzanne says she's looking forward to the next one. Mary says, thank you on this demo. I'd like to see the differences regarding the varnishes.
Well, I'm glad you joined us today. We appreciate you stopping in and taking time to spend with us, and we look forward to our next painting adventure together.
Okay, we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.